Hello everyone and welcome to my channel for a weekly reading vlog. I really want to start doing weekly reading vlogs because that way it can encourage me to read more. And yeah, so I don't really have an introduction besides that. So I'm going to tell y'all the book that I'm currently listening to right now that I'm almost like done with, kind of. And that is Lord Holt Takes a Bride by Vivian Lorette. I am loving this book. I started it during the Romance Takeover readathon, and I'm loving it. It is so swoony, and I love our hero and our heroine. Like, they're so swoony, and I just, like, love them. Their relationship is really cute. The dynamic is amazing, and I just love how it opens and how it, like, not how it opens, because the beginning of this book, I really thought something else was happening, and I was very upset, but that's fine. That's not actually what happened. I just love the dynamic between them and how he meets her. Not really, but, like, I don't know. Their meeting is kind of, like, messed up because she thinks he's someone else, and she kind of is rude to him in her head, and he meets her with the disguise of taking her to her aunt's, which is what she wants because she is running away from a wedding, and her friends come up with a plan to write a book, I don't know, but they kidnap Asher Holt, and so he gets revenge by kidnapping Wynn, who is the heroine, and convincing, like, saying that he's going to take her to her aunt. But, you know, shenanigans ensue. It's kind of a road trip romance because they are on the run, kind of like a runaway road trip, because she's running away from a wedding and her dad is, like, upset. He wants her to come back and marry this dude, and she doesn't want to. And yeah, I'm 70% through with this book and I'm loving it. It is so good. And I just, like, love Asher and their swooniness. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the hero falls first, which I love that. And I just love him and how they are running away, and so they're trying to come up with money, and they're learning more about each other through this journey. And I find it so swoony. I feel like when I read historical romances, I either love them or I hate them. I feel like there's no in between, and it's really the hero that makes or breaks a historical romance for me, because sometimes they're pretty annoying, and I don't like that. But I'm really liking this, and I'm really liking Asher and Wynn, and now I'm struggling to figure out what I want to physically read on my Kindle, because I've started People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and so I need to give it more of a chance. I'm only on chapter 1, so yeah, because that happened last time with Hot House Flower, but I, like, was struggling to find something to read, and I picked that up and I was, like, flying through it. Nothing was going to stop me. So I want another book like that, and so I'm trying to figure out what that book would be and what I want to read right now. But yeah, I'm currently loving Lord Holt Takes a Bride. Like, it's going to be 5 stars because it's so good right now. And I'm at, like, the, like, action-y part and where things are going to get interesting and my heart's going to hurt for a second. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope to update y'all as the week goes on. We'll see. Hopefully I do that. And yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. Okay, so it is now March 14th, and I have finished Lord Holt Takes a Bride by Vivian Lorette, and I loved it. This book was so good. It was so good. It was so steamy. Or not. No, it was not steamy. But this book was so swoony, and I just loved the hero. I loved the hero. I loved Asher, and I loved our heroine. And I just loved the journey that they went on, literally. Like, they were running away from a marriage. Well, the heroine was Wynn. She was running away from a marriage, and so they had to escape and scrounge together funds, and I love that. Like, that kind of thing I just really enjoy. in romance books because it's an outside force that they have to deal with, and it adds to the story and I like it. But yeah, I don't know. I just loved it, and I loved Asher. I thought he was so swoony, and he did so many things, like so many acts that were so sweet. Like he tore up his cravat so she could wear it for her hair, and just like he did so many things for Win, and it was so sweet. And I loved him, and I loved Win. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I might have, but she is plus size. She's described as being plump, and so she is a plus size heroine. But I also wanted to kind of give a description for this book because I don't know how well of a description I gave earlier, because thinking back on it, I'm like, I don't think I make any sense in that clip. So basically, this book is about Winifred, who is an heiress, and she is getting married to a duke, or someone who's becoming a duke, and she decides that her friends come up with this plan to write a book about the mating habits of gentlemen lords, and they kidnap the hero, and while they have him kidnapped, they tell Win that she should run away from her marriage, and that one of those friends' cousin will pick her up outside of the church. And she goes through with running away from the wedding, and outside in the carriage, it's not a cousin, it's Lord Holt, the hero, and he is waiting out there because he is deciding to kidnap her for revenge against her friends for what they did, which you learn when you read it. I don't know, it's not really much of a spoiler, but I don't want to be too descriptive and like too spoilery, but he kidnaps her and they run away together to her aunt's, and through that journey they run into some trouble. They have to escape people, and I love it. I love that. It is a road trip romance, I would say, and it's also got the only one bed trope, which is one of my favorites. It's like only one straw bed. So good. I love this book. I thought it was so swoony, and I loved it. So yeah. And then a book I started yesterday that I'm still reading is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I finally decided to pick this up, and I'm enjoying it so much. Honestly, now that I've gotten to the 50% mark and like 50% through, I'm loving it. Earlier, like, I started it yesterday, and yesterday I was enjoying it. I wasn't loving it, but I was enjoying it. But now that we're at the romance, I'm here. Like, I'm present. I'm so here for it. It's so cute. I love it. Like, ugh. Like I said, now that we're at the romance part, I'm down. And basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it is about Poppy and Alex. And Poppy she works at a magazine company and a travel company. And she used to go on trips for the company, and a while ago, like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, she meets Alex, and one day, like one adventure where they're going back to their hometown together, they decide that every summer they're going to go on a trip together and just go on a like cheap trip, like an affordable trip, because they're college students. And so this has been a tradition for like 6 years, but one time it gets ruined and they don't speak to each other for 2 years, and now they haven't spoken in 2 years, and she contacts him and is like, let's go on a trip. And he's like, I'm going to my brother's wedding in California if you want to, like, and she decides that she'll go to that wedding with him, and they decide to have 3 days before the wedding where they're going on exploring the town. And I just loved it. I'm loving it. I haven't finished it, but I'm loving it now that I'm 50% through. Oh, and there are flashbacks. So basically every even chapter is a flashback, and every odd number is a present day chapter. And I'm living for the present day chapters because they are more focused on the main couple and not the couple and their other relationships in the past. But I will say, I'm enjoying the past chapters because they are telling the story of how Poppy and Alex became friends and how they are friends and how they were friends, not just two strangers who met and were like lusting after each other or developed a romantic relationship really quickly, but friends. They have developed this friendship, and that friendship has remained a friendship for so many years. And I just love how it's really showing that their friendship has been intact for 7 years, and how they've developed that friendship relationship over 7 years, and not just like immediately lusting after your friend. But this shows that they are friends, and that it's not just a normal romance, but it's a friends to lovers romance. And so I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, this book is getting so good, and I'm excited to read more. So that's my update. I don't know if you can hear the train. I can. And yeah, I'm loving People We Meet on Vacation, and I'm excited to continue reading it. That's all I have to say. And I also loved Lord Holt Takes a Bride, 5 stars. I loved it. It was so good. And I'm glad I'm in my historical romance era again, because I was missing those days. And now I've read 2 back-to-back 5-star romances. It's happening. And I'm in my traditionally published era too. Yeah. Anyway, that is my update for right now. And hopefully this hand wasn't distracting. I will talk to y'all tomorrow, probably. And yeah. Okay, it is now Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and I just got to chapter 33 of People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and I am loving it. It is so good. Alex is definitely going to be my book boyfriend. I love this man so much. He will do anything for Poppy, and I love that. He is just... I also just read a scene, well, a little bit ago actually, that I remember seeing in an Instagram reel, and I was like, oh yeah. I saw it and I was like, oh, oh yeah, I remember. And that's why I was excited to read it from the beginning. But this man is so sweet, and I got to a lot of the not big reveals, but just a lot of reveals. Also, sorry about my hair. And I love him. Like, he is such a good, sweet hero. Like, this is the type of hero I want when I say I want a cinnamon roll, or I want a sweet hero, or a caring, considerate hero. He is all of those things. I love him so much. I'm loving their interactions now. Like, it's getting so good. I love them. I don't want it to be over. I got to chapter 33 like 2-3 hours ago, and I didn't update y'all then because, one, I had to compose myself before I read chapter 33. I knew we were getting to the part where we flash back to the specific vacation year they took, like the specific vacation they took like 2 years ago. I knew that was coming, and I had to compose myself for it because I was already sobbing and I didn't want to continue to sob, and I also just needed to like sob and let it all out because I love Alex. I love him so much. He's definitely my book boyfriend, like, right now. And I'm glad I read this, honestly. I needed this. Like, if I had waited, I don't know if I would have, like, I probably would have loved it, but just reading it in, like, this month and also last month, I read so many good books and so many traditionally published books that I needed this traditionally published book that was like those ones and that I love, because honestly, I do like traditionally published books. I don't like how not steamy, I guess you could say, but I'd rather, I'm gonna admit it, maybe I'm not fully, maybe I don't fully believe this, but kind of do, that I would trade in sex scenes for this sweet hero. Like, give me this hero and this man who's just like in love with the heroine, or any love interest that is in love with our main character, I will gladly take over any sex scene, because I love seeing someone just so in love with someone else that they are willing to do all of these things that would make that person happy. It makes me happy, and I love it. So yeah, I'm loving this book, and I'm so glad I read it now. I'm just so happy. and I don't want it to end. And like I knew, not knew, but like I kind of guessed a couple of the things. Like I knew that he was in love with her for a while, or that he liked her for a while. So anytime it would flash back to one of the previous times I was looking at it, looking for him liking her, like specifically looking for those gestures and just like the tiny little hints and, you know, the tiny like facial expressions and stuff. And I'm loving it. I'm loving them. It's very like realistic because they have to now think about their relationship and make a lot of decisions, and I love them. And I don't want it to end because I want to reread it. That's how I get when I really like a book. I just want to immediately reread it. And I love it. It's so good. I don't have anything else to say besides I love it. That wouldn't be a spoiler in a way. I mean, maybe I'm spoiling things. I don't know. I'm loving it. Alex Nilsen is amazing. Book boyfriend. Hello. Glad to have you here. I don't know. I just love him. Like, he is such a realistic, maybe not realistic, but just shouldn't be unbelievable that this person would actually exist. Like, it shouldn't be unrealistic that a person like Alex would exist. Like, that should be a normal thing. And I love him. And I want him. I don't know, that might be weird. But I just love him. And I love their relationship. It's giving me all the feels. I love him. I get you. That's the last time I'm going to say that. But yeah, hopefully I will finish it tomorrow. Oh, I also wanted to say that there are like a couple of steamy scenes. There's a sex scene, but it's not the steamiest thing, and it's also not fade to black. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I loved it. So yeah, anyway. I started an audiobook. I started an audiobook. It's called Bridesmates by Cindy Smith. And I'm loving this. It is a male-male romance between, like, not childhood friends, but, like, people who grew up in the same town. And one of them, Cooper, moved away, and he's coming back. He was, like, openly gay in high school, and the love interest, Will, went to the same high school, but he was not. I don't even know yet if he was even gay, but he was straight. Like, everyone assumed he was straight. And I'm only on chapter 4, and I'm loving it. This is how you do a novella, okay? Like, no breaks, just straight in, and I'm here for it. I love them. I literally have been like, ooh, just, I love it. I love them so much. They are adorable. I don't know. I did, however, but there was a flashback to high school where they were kissing, and afterwards, Will, the love interest, was like, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, like, don't tell anyone. And I was like, you know, like, yeah, you're in high school, but also, like, rude, because I'm getting a lot of Ben vibes from Heartstopper, and he was rude. I hated him, and I'm just like, maybe he doesn't want to be out yet, maybe he's still figuring things out, but, like, you know, I don't think Cooper would tell anybody anyway, whether he told him not to tell anyone or to tell anyone. But yeah, anyway, I'm loving it. He came back, and he's like, he's gay now? Like, he's openly gay, and I'm loving it. It's so cute. Anyway, that is my update for now. I will talk to y'all tomorrow, hopefully, if I remember. And yeah, see you. Okay, hello. So it is now Thursday. It is 10:30, and I finished People We Meet on Vacation. I finished it like 30 minutes ago. But I needed to compose myself. I needed to get my emotions in order because I was sobbing at the end of this book. Literal sobbing, like tears, like ugly crying. I was sobbing. I don't know if you can tell by my appearance, but I was sobbing. But I loved this book. It's not only a romance between Poppy and Alex, but it is years of friendship between them, years of what this relationship could be, years of pining, and it's so good. Like, that ending kind of didn't expect, like, I didn't expect it to tear my soul and, like, tear my heart out, but it did, and I'm just so happy I read this and happy I loved it. It's a 6-star read for me. This book was amazing. And I don't know, I just, that ending really got me. And it's not about, like, this book is not about flawless characters who have a romance. They are not the messiest couple you could read about, but they're also not a perfect couple. Like, there are going to be issues in the relationship in the future, you know, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle in the book. And it's just, they're not perfect, but you want them to be, and you want them to be together, and you want them to figure it out, and, like, just already be, like, just be together already. And that's how I felt the majority of this book. I loved them so much. I loved their journey. I loved just everything about Poppy and Alex. Alex Nilsen is the book boyfriend. Like, he's my book boyfriend right now, and I don't think he'll ever move from that position. He is amazing. I love this dude, this man. I love him, and I wish he was real. But I don't know, like, I don't know what to say besides I cried a lot. I sobbed a lot. And I love Alex so much. He really made this book, and I'm so glad that Poppy realized that Alex would literally do anything for her, and she realized that she kind of hasn't been the best person a lot. Like, not, she hasn't been terrible, but just sometimes she's a little, she, like, doesn't understand that what she's doing could be hurting him or what he's doing for her. And I'm so glad she realized that she feels the same way about him. Like, she would literally do anything for him, and I'm so happy about that. And I'm happy that, like, neither of them really sacrificed anything. If you like an equal relationship and, like, not one person giving up their entire life for another person, you would probably like this. If you like to cry, maybe you would like this. I don't know. The chapter 35, that's when I was sobbing. Like, I was emotional. And this book is just so good. And it's over now, and I'm sad, but also I'm so happy that I read it. Like I said, really, honestly, probably couldn't have read this at a better time. I love Alex Nilsen, and I love this book. 6-star read, definitely. And now I want to answer some of the discussion questions that she has at the end of the book. So, I don't know, maybe if you want to read it, this does have some questions relating to them as a couple and some questions for you. So maybe for some of these questions, if you don't want any possible spoilers, don't watch this part. But I'm going to answer some of the questions with y'all like we're back in high school discussing a book. Question number 6 is, which vacation of Alex and Poppy's would you most want to take? I would definitely want to go to Norway. Because, or the Canada one where they went to Canada. But Norway, that sounds so fun. I don't know, like I don't know much about Norway, so I'm going to assume that it's somewhat cold, and so that would be nice. And also just going to a completely different country. I've never done that, and so that would be kind of fun. I would not want to go to San Francisco because it was hot in that vacation, and I could not. I would melt, and I would just be not fun. I feel like going with the right person, like if Alex wasn't there, Poppy would have been miserable, or if Poppy wasn't there, Alex would be miserable. But I feel like a hot trip like that you would have to have someone there who's fun to be with and who understands it with you, and you can just have a good time with. But yeah, however, the only one bed trope appears when they're in San Francisco, so I wouldn't mind that. And they never actually went to Norway, so who knows what that would have been like. And then question 8 is, why do you think it takes Poppy and Alex so long to admit their feelings to each other? I think it is because they have gotten so used to this friendship that taking it a step further and it possibly failing is terrifying to them. And, like, what if it doesn't work? Then they have to deal with all of that. And so I think they like to remain as friends because it would mean that they would always be in each other's lives without risking one person leaving or it becoming awkward, and so they both don't talk to each other. I think they take comfort in knowing that they will always be there for each other as friends, and if they don't do anything about that, then it'll never change. So I definitely understand that, and, you know, understand why they have remained friends for so long. And maybe that's why, maybe it's not even like that, but that's just how I think it is, because they're so used to this friendship that taking it a step further would be hard to do, and if you lost that person, it would suck. So yeah, that would be my answer. And then the final question, the saddest question, I'm literally tearing up thinking about it, and I tore up when I read it, and it is, do you think Poppy and Alex are going to make it? I 100% believe that they are going to make it. You know, not any relationship is perfect, and I feel like they have known each other for 10 years, and so those 10 years they've spent in a friendship, they're going to spend 10 years in a relationship, getting to know each other in that sense, and I really hope they make it. And the reason this question makes me so sad is because I read romance books for that happily ever after, and for believing that these couples are all going to live together forever, they're never going to separate. Like, I never recently have read a romance, and like ever until like this past year, have read a romance and believe that that couple isn't meant for each other, and that couple isn't gonna break up or anything. Like, they're gonna live together forever, be together forever. And because when I read romance, I like to not think about real world and how that doesn't happen in real life. Like, people break up a lot, especially like happy couples. And so I think Alex and Poppy will make it, because if they don't, there's no hope for anyone. But I really do believe that they are strong and that they love each other, and that no matter what, they are going to make it work, you know? Like, they're gonna live their lives together and they're gonna be happy. That's my opinion, because that's what I want to believe, and I really do think that they are perfect for each other. And if not, Alex, hit me up. No, he's not real, unfortunately. But anyway, that is my very long update for this book. All I have to say is I loved it. 6 stars, amazing. I love Alex Nilsen. He's my favorite, and I highly recommend this book if you are possibly looking to cry, because it made me cry, and it's just so emotional. I loved it. I just don't have anything bad to say about it, and I highly recommend it. I love it. I'm about to cry. So yeah, I will talk to y'all in my next vlog. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.